This week, we went to go see Interstellar for the first time in IMAX. That's right, in IMAX, but is it any good? We'll talk. Hi, how you doing today? It's Just Jess here. Hope you're having a good day. And today, yes, we just saw Interstellar for the first time in IMAX, but is it worth it in that format? Honestly, absolutely yes. This is not even a question. It's shot with IMAX cameras. It's presented in 70mm film and IMAX digital. So what does that mean for you as a viewer? You get to feel the extended aspect ratio. So that means you get to see up to 26% only in IMAX. You get to experience the proprietary sound that provides powerful in-depth audio experience. I felt the vibrations in the seat rumbling when I saw this in IMAX, and of course links below to the sources that I used to back up my claims that this was made for IMAX and that you should see this in IMAX. Interstellar is an epic sci-fi space adventure movie directed from one of the legendary filmmakers Christopher Nolan. A man, a father, Mr. Cooper has been chosen to venture out into the unknown, find a suitable planet since Earth is becoming desolate and docile, killing humanity slowly, and has to sacrifice time with his children. What will he find out there? Will he find a suitable planet? What about his time with his children? And also, what's up with the time relativity thing on Miller's planet, aka the water planet that you've seen in the trailers? Find out as I talk about it. I gotta give you a quick story on how I'm tackling this review. The original release date was November 7th, 2014, so still my birthday month, but it was 10 years ago. Just like many of you, I saw this movie in theaters the way it was intended, especially in IMAX for the first few times. 10 years ago, I knew about this movie, but I never caught it, and I don't know why. And all I think I can tell you is I was a freshman in high school. I was drinking a lot. I didn't know who I wanted to be in terms of my life. I was dating a beautiful, gorgeous, perfect girl that turned chaotic and sexy in terms of relationship. She literally moved to like a different state, or she went back to Mexico, and it was long distance. It was chaotic. It was not good. It was one of the worst times of my life. But seeing this now, 10 years have gone by. I'm more better with my goals, my career, working out, eating more healthy and more mature. I know what I want in life. I know what I don't want in a relationship. And seeing this in IMAX was an incredible, breathtaking experience. And thank you, Lord Jesus Christ, that he put this back into theaters, because just like many of you, I saw this in IMAX and I was just such in awe. That's why it was taking a little bit longer for me to give you this review. The first time I saw this in theaters in IMAX, I was such in awe of what I was experiencing and feeling and all the information that's thrown at you. I saw it twice, like in theaters in IMAX, and growing up, I knew about the movie. All I heard was people saying that it was a masterpiece, it was amazing, it's their favorite movie of their whole life. This one beautiful girl that I talked to, that we should become a couple, hopefully later on, you know who you are, she says it was her favorite movie. And I was like, I do understand, and I do feel with that sentiment and criticism. And I do feel that it's one of the best movies I've seen in my whole life, although there are a lot of problems with it. But I did like this more than Oppenheimer, but honestly less than Inception. Inception is still my favorite movie from Christopher Nolan. Matthew McConaughey is an interesting choice. He is a former NASA pilot that gets a chance of a lifetime when he stumbles on a secret organization of NASA being underground. They need him to find, I guess what it's called, the Lazarus missions. Him and a couple of our NASA members to find 3 potential inhabitable planets for us to migrate to or start colonization. This movie shows he has a lot of range as an actor, being a loving father to his children, but also having an emotion in him that invokes and powers up, not being easy as he wants to venture out into space, but also leaving what he has on Earth, which is basically time with his children. But you see through his actions and his words and the way he commands himself on screen, this guy really struggles. Yes, he's doing the right thing going into space, but also he can never forget he has children down there. He wants to make it back, to be with them, to grow them up, be with them when they get their first heartbreak or whatever, their first relationship. Mackenzie Fowl, who guess what was also in the Twilight series, played his daughter, is awesome, as you really get to feel the connection she has with her dad and the hate that she has towards him when she leaves. If you've seen some of the trailers, she says, you need to stay, and he doesn't stay. So their relationship is very tacked on, especially in the beginning, because you feel that and you see that through their chemistry, the way they interact with each other. He has a lot of time with her, especially in the beginning, and it's really heartbreaking and heartwarming to see both of them interact multiple points throughout the movie. One of the great actors that's also here that we don't get a lot of screen time, which I wish we did, was Timothée Chalamet. He has become a breakout star. Of course, he came out this year again with Dune Part 2. I would have loved to have more screen time with him. I mean, I get it, we don't. He was really cool about his dad leaving. Well, he wasn't really cool. He was just yeah, man, manpower. You gotta do what you gotta do. We do see Jessica Chastain as the older version, the same age when he left, as the older version of Mackenzie Fowl's character. And one of the members that goes on the cruise ship is Anne Hathaway, so we have a lot of star power here, especially in this movie. And not to mention, I would be remiss not to mention Michael Caine as a sage-like presence as the head of NASA, telling him, hey man, you gotta go, this is for your future, this is for your kids. And he's saying, when you come back, I would have solved the time or the equation of gravity. I was like, yeah dude, we can definitely believe you. Let's talk about some of the best scenes that I experienced in the movie. The movie cinematography and the space scenes were literally up there in terms of like the best things to experience from this movie. As so many things that we can talk about, we can last for hours, but there's some quiet things I do want to mention for you. Is the black hole scene. That was crazy. Even though it was like a minute or 2 minutes long, that was beautifully done. The water scene, aka Miller's planet, and also when he comes back, he sees the realization of the years gone by for his children, which I'm not spoiling it for you, I'm just letting you know that without spoiling it for you, that if you've seen that scene when he starts crying, that is crazy, because that is the chance where I told you earlier he has range as an actor. But let's not forget one of the best scenes, if not the best scenes in the movie that led to that, which is the docking scene. The docking scenes was very intense, especially in IMAX. When I was, my seat was kind of vibrating. Well, the seat wasn't really vibrating, but I'm saying the feeling being in the theater was vibrating. Sorry, I have to eat. I'm hungry. I was holding my breath and I was looking around like to see how the people were feeling. Everyone's just like this. And if you don't know, basically the docking scene was like they're up in space, there's a crash, and he's spinning. You know, I'll just find a clip for you on the line, but he's spinning to it. When the scene was done, me and other points in the theater, remember this is the first time we're seeing it, we were like, whoa, yeah, and we were like clapping. It was awesome. I was like, dude, this is amazing, because what he did was phenomenal in terms of his actor, but the creativity they used to make the docking scene with the intense music and soundtrack they used to accompany that just specific scene was incredible. And I can't stop thinking about it. I was like, wow, I look at his face. I can never look at another space movie without that scene again. That was amazing. And did you know, prior to this movie back in 2014, they didn't know what a black hole really looked like. So when they made this movie and they made the black hole, they had an interesting idea. There's various other lore videos and books and even the science of Interstellar that you want to deep dive into to get a glimpse of what the black hole really looks like now. But still, before this, they didn't have any idea what it looked like according to the research that I've done. One scene in particular I do want to touch upon is Miller's planet, aka the water planet. If you've seen it in the trailers, did you know that every tick equates to 1 day on Earth? So the tick is like 1.25 seconds, and it's cool because that scene is the first time we get to experience time dilation, time relativity, because they're next to a gargantuous planet, which is like a black hole of gravity. So 1 hour on there is 7 years on Earth. So basically 25 minutes on there is 3 years on Earth, which is crazy because it really makes you think about the world, time relativity, space, like traveling. Like, wow, dude, for you that was 1 hour, but for us it was 7 years. That's crazy. I would have loved to do that, just saying, hey guys, you know, you're in my high school, but now you're older. Now I'm still the same age. I would have done that. And also, let's talk about the cinematic score and soundtrack. It's beautifully realized and masterfully done, as the Interstellar theme weaves throughout the different notes of the past that the movies take, but also gives you a glimpse of what's behind the horizon, such as being insightfulness, being magicalness. You know, you see the power of thinking beyond the horizon that we see through our eyes. And also the score by Hans Zimmer is leveled up with this movie. You know, I have it on like the weekend that I saw it, I was like, amazing, because that helped me think to give you a review of this movie, but also just think about life. Think where you are now, like what's out there in the horizon. Like, that's the one thing this movie really made me think, hours on end, days on end. Like, I saw it twice, 2 different weekends, and I was just like, wow, dude, like I'm so thankful to be alive right now. And it really makes you think and power up the emotions of space, time, family, love. You know, how far we've come and how far we will go. Although, as much as this a magical movie is amazing, it's not perfect. Like I said before, the first time I saw this in IMAX, by the way, I had trouble finding the words to give you a curated review. I wanted to see it again for the 3rd time, but I couldn't because time and, you know, other movies coming out. It's a lot to take in with the information they're giving you, the sequences. Is this all real? What's all fake? What are you experiencing and seeing in the theaters? Like, you don't even know what's going on half the time. The first time I saw this, I was like, wow, time dilation, relativity. You get a lot of sequences, equations thrown at you that even me that went to the school system in college, yes, I dropped out my 3rd year, but still, it's like, wow, it is a lot to take in. And I'm not saying that people are not dumb, but I'm just saying, like, the movie, it feels like an elevated level in terms of informationalness. And I feel like for me, I was just like, wow, dude, like, what am I supposed to think of everything that you just told me? You just gave me like a 500-page essay and I need to skim it in like the first 30 seconds. You know, that's crazy. I know that's like a weird example, but still, it has the same problem as other movies of his genre has, which is the sound problem. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the sound problem is, what did that character say? What did he say? Michael Caine, when his scene happened, people were like in the theaters like, what did he talk about? I had no idea what he talked about. People were just like, what did he say? And just like Oppenheimer, I don't know about Inception, it's been a while since I've seen that, but just like other movies he has, the sound design. Now, yes, they may have the sound design in an IMAX setting, an Adobe setting, in the best premium format possible when they do this like editing process, but for us, multiple variants go by, different theaters, different IMAX theaters, different countries, continents, states, States, literally overseas. How is that theater compared to mine? So the sound design can be a little bit wonky at times. I understand it, I get it, and I like it. You know, they're having an intense conversation. The cinematic score and soundtrack is in the background. You know, it's elevating the music, it's elevating their acting or whatever. You know, you're into the moment of what they're talking about. They're plotting, you know, they're scheming. But still, at the same time, it's hard to get what these characters are talking about. I feel like I personally okay with the negatives because check this out. I'm a cyberpunk, futuristic, neon house music martini type guy. So I get the people were making those comments, but to me, even though it still felt slow paced in the beginning of the movie and sometimes throughout the scenes it's a little bit slow, that wasn't really much of a criticism for because I was such in awe of what I was experiencing and feeling that slow thing, that being it too slow, too campy, I didn't mind at all. Now keep in mind, I'm a different type of viewer than you guys. So basically it depends on what you like in terms if you're okay with the negativities that are associated with this film. There's a part also in the ending where I just felt like it didn't get warned enough, or it just really didn't hit home the way it was supposed to be, or the creators wanted to make me feel. It didn't hit home the way it was intended to. Without spoiling for you, it was aka Miller's Planet. Basically, there's a scene where these characters see each other again, and even though that emotion wasn't that warranted, it just didn't feel right to me. Yes, I get it, it was supposed to be impactful, but it just wasn't for me, and I don't know why. I don't know why, and I don't want to get into the spoilers. One of my friends that I work with went to director school. He was trying to be a director, make movies here in Chicago, Columbia, which is amazing, by the way. He said that his director teacher in Columbia school said that Christopher Nolan doesn't convey emotion well. And that really got me thinking, what do you guys think? Does Christopher Nolan not convey emotion well? He says, and I'm paraphrasing here, he says he either does it too overly done or subtle. So you know how like there's a crying scene with Matthew McConaughey's character? That's like full blown on, like too much, a lot of people would say. But to me, I was like, oh, well, that warrants for that specific scene. But now that he said that, it got me second thinking. I'm like, does he really not know how to convey emotion well? But that's just a criticism that a lot of people have. Let me know what you guys think, because that's actually a great conversation that we can have. I don't know, it either be too subtle, too overpowering. But this review's gone long enough. At the end of the day, I'm gonna give this a grade A. I am so thankful that God, you know, released this back into the theaters, of course, with the world, with the universe, and the vibes. Otherwise, I probably would have never ever watched it. You know, maybe 4K down the line. But watching this for the first few times, at least for the movies are intended to be watched in theaters, especially in IMAX, was a breathtaking, incredible experience. This is a movie that I would buy now, the 4K, like 10th anniversary edition, which is like $300. So maybe I'll just get like the $30 4K bundle at like Amazon. But I'm still thankful, you know, that they brought this back into theaters. Just like many of you, this is our first time watching it, and it was amazing. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you so much. Maybe consider hitting that like button and turning on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that, take care, bye.